Not only has he basically implicated himself in murders, he also has implicated Lil Boosie in murders, bro.
Pooh Shiesty may have just dropped an exclusive revelation about Boosie in a single Instagram caption. He suggested Boosie has a higher body count than him in street rap. That term carries one unmistakable meaning: murder. The post immediately went viral, and when Boosie caught wind of it, his reaction escalated the situation into a full-blown confrontation. Here's how it all went down. The post that had everyone saying, "Wait, what?" In late February 2026, Pooh Shiesty appeared on Instagram and shared a caption that read, "It might be one rapper that got more bodies than me, that's Lil Boosie. No album promo, no diss track energy, no just dropped single attached, just Shiesty freshly home from the feds." Those words hit the timeline for all to see. For a moment, the post lingered quietly, people scrolled past, double-tapped without reading, and moved on. Then blogs picked it up, and once the blogs had it, the city woke up. Because in Memphis drill, in Baton Rouge ratchet rap, in the spaces these two men occupy, bodies do not mean likes or comments, it means exactly what it sounds like: murder victims, a kill count, a ledger of who was sent to the dirt, and Pooh Shiesty had just positioned himself second on that list, right beneath Boosie Badazz, posting it from his phone while still technically in federal custody. By March 13, 2026, the clip circulating on Shiesty's X page had surpassed 1 million views, with accounts like Traps and Trunks, Live Betch, and Poetic Flacco all jumping into the repost chain. The comment sections were a mix of laughing emojis, genuine shock, and people pleading, "Bro, please delete that."
Make sure you stay on your pivot at all times, man. Had to come tap in as I was scrolling down my timeline yesterday.
Make sure you stay on your pivot at all times, man. Had to chime in while scrolling through my timeline yesterday. Urban politician TV's Big Ant was mid-scroll when the caption stopped him dead in his tracks. He described the moment exactly as most people felt it. He had already double-tapped the post before even reading what Shiesty had written. Once he went back and read the caption, he leaned back and said, "Whoa."
As the day went on further, I started to see what the caption read, and I said, "Whoa, more bodies than Boosie."
Now Boosie, who had just navigated a federal gun case in January 2026 and walked out of that courthouse with no prison time, only supervised release and a $50,000 fine, was not about to let that caption linger. He went straight to Instagram Live and shut it down before the speculation could gain any traction.
I need you to come to my house, you see how I be having my party. All you know.
That right there was the full rebuttal. Shiesty showed up, saw the ladies, and was reportedly giving Boosie his respect for the count in a completely different sense. Not a kill count, but a smash count.
I'm talking about all gotta be smashed.
The internet saw that explanation and immediately went wild. The comment sections erupted. It took 2 weeks to come up with that? Boosie is moving way too nervous. Cap activity on site. People were calling it the fastest save in hip-hop history while simultaneously not believing a single word of it. But beneath all the laughs was a serious reality. Shiesty was still stationed in a federal halfway house in Dallas, with a projected release date of April 11, 2026. He was not truly free. Federal authorities had eyes on him, and his name, alongside Boosie's, was now linked to a public body count ranking that millions had already screenshot and saved.
Well, Boosie went to trial for this already and won. So double jeopardy would take place, so they can't charge him again. So I'm not gonna say that's snitching.
Big homie, CC from Cam Capone News stepped in with the legal angle. Double jeopardy. Boosie went to trial, beat the case, the gavel came down. Legally, he cannot be charged again for the same incident, so the post cannot harm Boosie the way people feared. That argument has merit, but it overlooks the fact that Shiesty is still under federal supervision, that there's no statute of limitations on homicide, and that an Instagram post from someone with a federal firearms conviction is exactly the type of evidence that can end up in a file.
Not only has he basically implicated himself in murders, he also has implicated Lil Boosie in murders, bro.
King Dun's breakdown exposed how Pooh Shiesty essentially incriminated himself on social media while dragging Boosie Badazz into the drama. In street culture, bodies isn't just slang, it's a violent status metric, a kill count that boosts respect in Memphis drill, Baton Rouge ratchet, and Southern trap. Shiesty's post, bragging about his place on this grim leaderboard, collided with his real-life legal situation. He had already pleaded guilty to federal conspiracy involving violent crimes and was under supervised release. What seemed like flexing online could easily catch the eyes of federal agents or prosecutors, turning a social media boast into a dangerous real-world liability. The conversation, and the consequences, are far from over.
And what gets me is he would be one of them ones who would say, y'all rats, y'all snitching, I'm back in jail cause somebody snitched.
King Dun's point hits hard because it's true. The very artists who build their public image around no snitching are often the ones posting the most self-incriminating content on social media without hesitation. The post isn't exactly giving law enforcement a formal witness statement, but it is providing them a roadmap.
You just told on yourself, gang. And I don't know where you may have bodies at, but if I could basically think about it and guess, I would say you got bodies in Memphis, Tennessee.
And that observation ties directly into a legal reality that has been reshaping courtrooms for decades. Over 500 documented cases in U.S. courts have admitted rap lyrics as evidence, whether for motive, intent, gang affiliation, or direct admissions. Young Thug's YSL Rico trial saw 17 sets of lyrics entered by prosecutors to show the label operated as a criminal organization. Courts have consistently treated violent rap not as artistic fiction, but as autobiography, as confessions set to a beat. An Instagram caption carries even less protection than a recorded song. There is no studio, no producer credit, no performance frame to give it artistic cover. It is a direct, personal statement attributed to you, timestamped, and legally admissible. Shiesty typed those words under his own account while his federal sentence was still active.
I just, so if I write a movie about one guy killing another, bro, does that mean that I went and killed somebody in that way, bro?
Boosie turned a dangerous situation into a meme, using humor and a party story to defuse online speculation, while Pooh Shiesty's legal and street history paints a far more complicated picture. Born Launtrell Donnell Williams Jr. in Memphis, Shiesty rose fast, signing with Gucci Mane's 1017 records, hitting the Billboard charts, and earning XXL freshman honors by 21. But violent incidents from Memphis to Florida and Miami led to federal conspiracy charges, a 63-month sentence, and the beginnings of a snitch narrative, fueled by the plea deals dropped charges. In street culture, even factual admissions can be deadly online, and Boosie's quick pivot shows just how crucial humor and framing are when navigating that world.
Now that he's come home, my whole team, they own me. Like, they're on me. They sending me all these documents and all this stuff.
Shiesty's attorney slammed the snitch rumors as next-level absurd, clarifying that no cooperation ever happened and the factual proffer was separate from any deal. But on the streets, perception often outruns the law. When Shiesty posted his indictment and plea paperwork in January 2026, it fueled attention rather than quieting it. Since walking out of USP Canaan in October 2025, he's been on a redemption arc, a viral XXL interview, the hit single FDO debuting at number 12 on the Billboard Hot 100, and a story of sobriety, faith, and self-reinvention. The stage is set for his comeback. Handled right, the world is watching.
All the image and the facades and the faking and the street notoriety, this is not working.
That is Shiesty himself in December 2025, warning against exactly the type of move he would make 3 months later with the body's caption. The gap between those two moments tells the full story. He said the right things, clearly understood the potential consequences, and yet, while still in the halfway house and under federal supervision, he posted the Boosie caption anyway. The pull of the persona runs that deep. Boosie, for his part, had been watching Shiesty's situation for years with something resembling big homie energy, a mentor's concern from a man who had already walked through a version of the same fire and come out the other side.
I already told all my what Shiesty was gonna get. I already knew Shiesty was gonna get a nickel.
Oh, so you knew it ahead of time, just
Yeah,
based on the case.
All my little nephews came in and say, "Oh, you the truth, dog. You the truth."
Boosie had already predicted Shiesty's 5-year sentence and treated him like a nephew, but Shiesty's 2026 caption unexpectedly turned respect into a legal spotlight on Boosie. The post dredged up the murder trial that defined Boosie's legacy. In 2009, Terry Boyd was shot dead in Baton Rouge, and Boosie, already incarcerated, was accused of orchestrating it. Prosecutors leaned on circumstantial evidence, including a teen's jailhouse confession and Boosie's own lyrics, claiming his music documented the crime. But the defense turned the case around when the teen recanted under oath, exposing coercion, and Boosie was acquitted in under an hour. The verdict became a celebrated victory, proof that in hip-hop, the streets and the courtroom can collide, but savvy moves can rewrite the narrative.
Like, you get in trouble. You know what I paid for my lawyers? Like, this real, bro.
Right, I mean, because you fought a murder charge.
Years later, when discussing young Dolph's killers showing up to court claiming they couldn't afford lawyers while simultaneously posting jewelry on Instagram, Boosie made the point crystal clear.
What you spend on lawyers? You've told me this before.
$250,000 or more.
$250,000 or more in legal fees, attorneys, consultants, experts, not a bribe, but a top-tier defense team for a capital murder charge. The flex is clear. Instagram money isn't real money. Real money is the number you write on a check when the state is trying to take your life.
They was talking about so many bodies. They ain't have nothing on me, on my murder charge.
Yep.
That was all fugazi to really take me down, bro.
Even after his acquittal, Boosie's name carried a legendary street reputation in Baton Rouge and the rap world, tied to alleged killings, influence, and underworld power, even if none led to charges. Shiesty's 2026 caption suddenly dragged that legacy back into the spotlight during a week Boosie wanted distance from murder talk, reigniting old rumors and proving how quickly online posts can collide with real-life history, ironically, from someone Boosie had once publicly supported.
I'm glad he young. When you young, bro, I had that same, if he got the attitude, I had that same attitude.
Boosie saw himself in Shiesty's situation and even predicted his 5-year sentence, but one Instagram caption flipped their dynamic, forcing Boosie into damage control for something he didn't post. Once his party story went viral, the jokes died down, revealing a deeper truth. In rap, a single post can build or destroy a career overnight, exposing the delicate, and often dangerous, balance between street credibility, legal risk, and online perception.
If you're a street rapper, that's what sells you, that's how you make your money. But what come with that is you got to stand on that every time you outside now.
Big Ant called it, the rap trap. The image that moves units is the same image that puts you to the test. Every label that signs a street rapper and amplifies the street persona to sell records is also pushing that artist into a corner, where they have to perform the persona in real life, at shows, on social media, or at 3 o'clock in the morning when someone shows up trying to prove a point. The performance demands execution. The audience demands proof of authenticity, and that proof can cost your freedom.
Every time you go to a concert, you're gonna have somebody there try you. Dead, the police watching.
Boosie's 2012 trial showed how rap lyrics can be twisted as confessions, a tactic used in over 500 U.S. cases, mostly against black artists, where first-person storytelling is treated as real-life proof. Laws like California's AB 2799 aim to curb this bias, but reform is slow. In 2026, Shiesty's Instagram caption bypassed even those protections. No beat, no video, no artistic framing, just his name, his words, and a timestamp watched by federal monitors, making a single post far riskier than any song.
He under home confinement right now. He got to keep his name in the algorithm.
Big Homie OC's take on the motive is likely the most pragmatic and accurate read to come out of this situation. Shiesty is a man confined to a halfway house with no tour dates, no shows, and an album rollout underway. Content is currency. Controversy feeds the algorithm. The post drove traffic back to his name and kept him in the conversation during a time when he physically couldn't participate in the culture the usual way. By that logic, it was less a slip and more a calculated move.
He in the halfway house right now, man. So, you got to keep it buzzing. You got to drop a little like that.
The calculation and the wisdom are two different things, and the gap between them is exactly where both of these men's careers have historically gone sideways. Shiesty sat down with XXL in December 2025 and explained, with more clarity than most artists manage, what it cost him to chase the street image, what he learned in federal prison in Pennsylvania, and what he intended to do differently.
Clear vision, I can see clear now, like, I got it. It's my second run. Like a second chance, for real.
3 months after that interview, he was back on the timeline with the body's caption, not because he forgot what he said, but because the pull of the persona runs so deep that intellectual understanding alone cannot counter it. You can know the trap is a trap and still step into it, because the audience that paid to see the show is standing right there, waiting for you to perform.
You can see the real time of boys being in the courtroom, lawyers there. They streaming this stuff now for us. We can see it in real time.
Big Ant's insight shows just how intense 2026 culture has become. Fans watch indictments, trials, and sentencing play out online, yet the spotlight still rewards image over reality. Boosie, seasoned in this world, turned Shiesty's risky Instagram caption into a joke, defusing what could have become a legal nightmare. As of March 2026, no new charges or investigations have emerged. Boosie stays on supervised release, Shiesty records from a halfway house, and the caption keeps circulating as a screenshot. One smart move and a culture willing to laugh kept things from spiraling. And if you want more inside looks at hip-hop's real stories, hit that subscribe button.